You there, George?
Yeah, it kept saying that I couldn't join or I was declining. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I might have invited you to speak, and then I invited you to host at the same time, and then it probably went ape shit.
Yeah, it said speaking and then it said co-host and then I accepted and it said I was declining it and I don't know.
True. So let's get into it. How did you like the new season?
Well, first of all, this was a lot. Like the drama was really high, right? Like we went from um a blind cast member to a quadriplegic to a chick who's talking to chickens to a woman who escaped an abusive and controlling marriage that is going to marry a Muslim at first sight. I was very, very, very entertained, right? Like every story got crazier and crazier for me, and I was impressed. But I wanna real quick talk about how pissed off I am that they have decided that we are no longer going to be allowed to stream without commercials. I'm really upset, and
Hmm.
I just feel like, I mean, we saw this coming. I didn't think it was going to be this soon. We know that Warner Brothers Discovery is broke, and we
Yeah.
know they're scrounging for pennies, so they're attacking all of their actual entities that are still making money. Because they own a lot of stuff that isn't in production anymore. So I just want to get that out there real quick, like out of the way first. I hate them; they piss me off. But this season, it's crazy. Like I don't even know where to start. You know,
Hmm.
I was really interested in the story with Brian, him being a quadriplegic and him dating this 20-something-year-old Brazilian and everything. And then right at the end, he dropped that bomb. He's like, "Oh, I have to tell her that my carjacking and me being shot was not random."
Yeah.
And I think everybody kept tweeting out there like, "Please let this man, not do anything to make him and like us hate him." Right? I kept seeing that on X, and
Yeah.
I don't really know if him being like in a gang or involved in like some sort of organized crime, I don't know if it really is going to change my perception because I feel
Hmm.
like a pretty decent person from what I saw on the show. And I think he said it's been 25 years since he became a quadriplegic. So I think that his story is going to be the most interesting to follow because Ingrid hasn't even asked him like what works and what doesn't, which I
Yeah.
think is crazy to me because if you're going to be dating someone, I feel like that's the first question. Well, maybe we should ask some of the ladies in here, like, if you're dating a guy who is paralyzed from the waist down, is it important to know what's going on down there? Do you not care? Like, I was under the impression that you would at least want to know, right? Like, she didn't even ask.
It was funny when they were. What it was? What's the thing they do? Like rugby? They're doing rugby in the
Yeah,
wheelchair.
wheelchair rugby. Yeah, and they do that with basketball too. Um,
Yeah.
basketball as well.
So, the part that I thought was amusing was they were having that like conversation about orgasms and shit. But then there was like that female was with them, right?
Yeah,
So I'm sure that was kind of awkward.
and little like, do I leave? Like, this is kind of not my, this isn't the conversation that I want to be a part of because, it got a little graphic, and hearing all of the different issues that go on with men
Mm.
specifically in that situation. Like, I didn't know that, well, I have limited knowledge, right? Like, I was under the impression it just didn't work. And then we were hearing, different men tell it varies by the person, and some men said, "Oh no, it works, but if you can't ejaculate, or if you do, it could that's even worse. It could lead to headaches or pain."
He said he may have an aneurysm once he finishes.
Right, or seizure, aneurysm. That's pretty freaking serious, right? Like that's crazy to me. And then they were talking about Viagra, and sometimes Viagra will make things work that don't work. It was just it was crazy to me, and the fact that these people had this conversation, but Ingrid and Brian have never had that conversation. It makes me question her. I mean, her being a 20-something-year-old Brazilian who is pretty hot, okay, like pretty hot. She's a MILF.
Mhm.
It makes me wonder. Well, the first question that came to my mind was, how much money is he sending her? Like, did
Mhm.
you think that too?
Well, that's what he said is to his daughter was this is the first time I'm not sending money or something to a
Right.
chick.
I was like, so there's clearly money involved. She's a single mom. She's in her early 20s. She's hot, and she doesn't even care that he's in a wheelchair. I just feel like this isn't going to end well for him. I feel like, and then the fact that she hasn't even mentioned it to her family or friends. I think that he's just a sucker sending her money at this point, and it sucks because it's not fair. Dating as a quadriplegic, he said, is not an easy task, especially not in the U.S. And I feel bad for him, but I definitely feel like she's using this dude. Like she has to be.
Hmm. Well, I want to talk about another cast member, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the answer is kind of obvious, but as far as social media live tweeting goes, who would you say is the most like viral to live tweet about?
Well, Lauren is the most viral at this point. Everyone is like they don't even know where to go with his character because he's a gyrosexual. I don't
He said gynosexual,
I
but gyrosexual is funnier.
yeah, let's go with gyrosexual. I like that better. He likes
Yeah.
gyro. Okay, so he is only attracted to women that have penises, which
Mhm.
is I didn't know was a thing. I mean, I did know that there are men that are only into trans women, and then I know
Mhm.
that men that have like a trans women fetish, right? Like we've heard our stories, our share of stories of celebrities who got caught, who are clearly married to women that got caught with trans women or whatever. So we know that that exists, but this was the first time I've heard it like explicitly explained on TV. Like he doesn't want to be with like a legitimate woman because apparently his best friend who was on the show was a girlfriend of his, and she
Mhm.
literally said it didn't work out because she didn't have a penis, which is just it's wild to me. Like it's
Mhm.
so different, and I think that the fact that he's a homeless gyrosexual makes it even more crazy. Like it's like his whole story was just like one bombshell after another. I couldn't even like keep up.
Yeah, and then he he basically wants to be like, well, he basically says I really don't believe in monogamy.
Well, yeah, and see, that's not even uncommon. Like we've been watching polyamory, we've been watching plural lifestyle. There's plenty of people like that. But usually the people that you're with are aware. So, like, what's her name? Faith doesn't know that he is not interested in monogamy and that he's like banging other people here in the US. And I already see that as an issue because yeah, he is like a poly person, which is fine. It's not cheating in his eyes. But if you're with a person who isn't poly, you're just banging other people, right? Like you both have to be on the same page, or it doesn't work. Like that lifestyle only applies to people that participate in it. Like to a normal person, if you're like, oh, I'm polyamorous, so yeah, I'm sleeping with like 50 different people, they're not
Mhm.
going to deal with you because they think that you and them are in a relationship. So it's and also the scene with him cooking in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I'm a germaphobe, right? Like I'm very 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 weird about like cleaning, and it was too much for me. Like
Yeah.
and then started like working out and steaming up. Like
Sweating.
it made me like sick. Like I didn't
Mhm.
eat any of the food, but I was literally sick just watching
Mhm.
the fact that this guy was like cooking. First of all, he had a hot plate on the toilet. What the actual hell is
And he's making seafood too, which smells naturally anyway.
what is happening right now?
And then,
And they ate a whole freaking shrimp, like the head, the tail, the
oh yeah,
antenna.
with the shell.
What is going on? Do people do that? Like now, I'm curious. Do people
Mhm.
do that? People eat shrimp whole?
I don't know, but then it reminded me of like Kyle doing like nudnik shit for attention.
Also, think that this was just him trying to be weird on the show.
Yeah, it reminded me of like Kyle's antics of just doing extra weird shit for the show.
Well, yeah, like grabbing his balls while they're out in public, just to be weird. So, like, yeah, I mean, I would hope to God that he doesn't eat. First of all, that he doesn't actually cook in the bathroom like that. Second of all, that he doesn't eat shrimp whole. Like, I've never seen that happen. And then the crunching sound, it was too much. Like, it really got to me. I was like, this is really freaking gross. I don't know. I don't know if I can take this. This is just crazy. This whole
And
situation.
then what was his bullshit reasoning? It was because it's really hot in
Well,
that
yeah,
country.
the Philippines, they have a very humid climate. Like it's more humid than Florida, more humid than
Mhm.
uh, more humid than Vegas. Like it's very very humid, based on their location and to the sun. So he was supposedly preparing himself for the humidity and heat of living in the Philippines. Which whatever, I don't want to hear that.
No, no, I feel like that was kind of like a fake scene in the sense of let's do something over the top, and then obviously at least they know I'm going to tweet about it because it's ridiculous, but it's going to get attention.
Well, yeah, it caught everyone's attention before anybody could even get into the show. They see this guy in shorts and no shirt, steaming up the bathroom, cooking shrimp on the toilet. Like they knew what they were doing, right? They know what they're doing. They know how to rope us in. And then the fact that he's reverse green carding her, right? Like he is moving to her country so he can like move into her house and like squat into her life and then try to live there is even more crazy, right? Because usually the person coming from the Philippines is the one trying to get the green card. He's trying to reverse green card her, which I think is even more crazy.
Meaning like he's trying to the other way her.
Well, yeah, he's trying to move into her country and take
Mhm.
advantage of her life.
So
Which
I mean, when he first applied for casting, do you like I had to consider, hey, he could technically fall under the other way, but then obviously based on this past season of the other way, which has been kind of mid, they probably were like, no, this guy's too good for other way. We got to save him for the main show for B90.
well, yeah, I did think when I heard him say that he wanted to move over to the Philippines, I was like, well, this is the wrong show. This should be the other way. But as we know, we unpacked more and more of his story. I was like, yeah, I get why they wanted to save him. And also it crossed my mind they put him on before the 90 days because I'm assuming they're not going to get married, right? Like I'm going to assume that he's going to get over there and shit's going to fall apart pretty rapidly. So I'm assuming they're like, well, yeah, it wouldn't even get to the point where he was packing up to move there because I don't think they're going to make it because I'm pretty sure she's gonna basically end this pretty quickly, right? Like I don't know her.
Mm.
We haven't really seen any scenes with her, but I'm pretty sure that she's not interested in this situation.
Yeah, they previewed because yeah, in the preview at the end of the episode, it was like she was like, "Oh my god, he cheated," blah blah blah. So they previewed that it's not going to go over very well.
Well, yeah, I could see that. I know that this is one of those short-lived stories, right? Like that's what because we didn't meet everybody tonight, so
Mhm.
it's not gonna make it very far
Oh,
from.
so your premonition is it'll be like they'll be have their full storyline for half the season, and by the middle of the season, they'll probably be done, and we won't see him by the end of the season.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Get over there and he's gonna explain to her that he's been sleeping with other people and he's a homeless person and he wants to move into her house.
Mhm.
And I think that, she's going to say, well, you can take your ass back to the USA. I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to seeing that, like the nerdy guy at the end of the preview that wasn't on this episode. You know what
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
talking about?
Yeah. I'm interested in that too. I mean, I think that this season, the casting has outdone itself, I guess.
Hmm.
Like, I'm really impressed. If they could have been doing this all along, I'm just kind of disappointed we didn't get this sooner.
Yeah, and then do you agree that since everyone loved David, that's the reason they had like the blind guy and then the quadriplegic guy or yeah, the quadriplegic guy.
Oh, 150%. Yeah,
Mhm.
David definitely pulled on the heartstrings, and I think that they never realized the opportunity they were missing by not having someone with like a certain type of disability or disadvantage. And I think
Hmm.
they want to, I don't want to make it sound bad, but like capitalize on that area. I think that
Hmm.
it's important that they are representing that, because David and Sheila, it really opened our eyes to the disability aspect of love, because
Hmm.
it's two normal, able-bodied people who are falling in love, but that's not how love always works. Sometimes, you know, two people get together and then one of them becomes disabled while they're together or before they're together or whatever. So I think it's important that they focus on that, because I don't think they realize how much people want to see that. I think that
Yeah.
it's a big opportunity. And this guy, Chitty, who's a Christian who plays like soccer and with a blindfold on, it's mind blowing, right? Like, to
Hmm.
that they can focus on and find the ball and find the goal just based on sound and air and wind speed. It's just blows my freaking mind. It literally blows my mind.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Um, with Brian, the quadriplegic, he said he was married 4 times, right? So I mean, do you think that's his like he's do you think he feels insecure where he's like, oh, I gotta marry this chick ASAP? That's why he's been married 4 times.
I don't know. I feel like with him being a quadriplegic, I feel like he might be a serial husband. Like, when he finds somebody that accepts him in any way, I feel like he might overly exert himself to solidify that relationship,
Hmm.
because he said it was very difficult for him to find love in the US. He said that American women looked at it as a last resort, but he said he would go over to, I think he said Venezuela. I believe he said, and they were more open to it. But you have to remember, in those countries, they're more open to an American, right?
Hmm.
Like, they're more open to a gringa. And I think that he might have married those women who looked at him as an American who was going to improve their life,
Yeah.
and they didn't actually love him. So I don't. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know the story of all that, but the way that he is working with Ingrid and how he's not asking questions, she's not asking questions. It kind of looks like a pattern where he gets involved with a foreign woman and he starts sending her money, and as long as the money is flowing, she loves him. I feel like that's probably how it ended up being 4 separate marriages, because it's about to be 5, right? Like, that's crazy. He's not even that old. He's only 51 years old. Like, how do you get married that many times?
Hmm. And then I have to do my research on some of these cast members, but so I guess Starcasm tweeted that Tiger Lily is like a social media influencer and she has 700,000 followers on Instagram, I think.
What?
So I haven't had a chance to like dig in.
I have not either,
Yeah.
but it crossed my mind that something was going on with her, because she didn't say she had an occupation, but
Hmm.
she said, you could tell that she was boasting a lifestyle. So that caught my attention right away. She had a nice house, nice car. She was supposedly buying a $26,000 watch on her.
Buying that expensive a watch without seeing it in person seems kind of stupid to me.
It does. It seems really stupid. Like, if that's stupid rich, right? Like, for you to do something like that, to wear a watch, like to wear a car on your wrist,
Hmm.
that's stupid rich. And a lot of people online were saying, well, they wanted to know what her ex husband did for work, that she doesn't work specifically, and she has so much money because clearly it's child support and spousal support. And she
Hmm.
said it took 4 years to finalize the divorce. And if it takes 4 years to finalize a divorce, y'all are fighting tooth and nail. And I'm assuming that it was over money. So a lot of
Hmm.
people are like, oh, we got to figure out what he does, what he owns, if he's a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever. They are from Texas. So people are saying, oh, he could be like an oil mongol, or, a lot of people who own and operate crude oil businesses are in Texas. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's really early on, so we got to figure that out. I haven't even seen her Instagram, so I'm interested in seeing what type of influencer she is. Like, is she just one of those women that posts really nice trips and food, or like does she
Hmm.
have a niche? Like, I'm really interested in that.
Yeah. Oh, we got to dig into it. What was I gonna say? And then all of her friends seem like they're bought and paid for. literally.
Well, literally, she had zero actual friends. They were her makeup artist, her hair stylist, her yoga teacher, her life coach. Everyone is a paid employee, which reminds me a lot of, like, celebrities, Britney Spears. They don't have any actual friends. It's
Hmm.
just people that they paid to do things, and that's a red flag if I've ever seen it. You should have at least one friend from when you were a kid that doesn't
Hmm.
hate, and if you don't, I want to know what you did that everybody hates you, that you have to pay people to like you.
Yeah, true that. And then so I pulled up her Instagram and I texted you her name. But yeah, she has 701,000 followers. And then it says, let's see, she owns something, but there's some NEIGE, a conscious concept store for the modern family with a curated edit of ethical and sustainable children's wear, women's wear, and skin care. So it sounds like she has like an online store that has those products.
Where did
So
you? Oh, never mind. I see it now.
yeah, so you can buy a kid's bucket hat for $45 off her page. You can buy a simple folk Muslim trouser for kids for $55 to $60. You
But is
could
anyone buying this stuff?
I don't know, but I'm sure she was dying to be on the show because now people will buy her shit.
I ain't buying it. I mean, I don't know that. What is this that she sent me? Oh, I don't know that. Oh, I see it. She's not verified.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
That's very interesting. 701,000 followers and you're not verified.
Do
That's
you think they're not to start alleging things? So let me say allegedly. Do you think she paid for followers?
I'm gonna. Oh, and she hides her likes.
That means
I was gonna see the like count. If the like
well,
count.
I see the on her fourth post down. It has 5,000 likes.
Okay, that's that's
Oh, and
kind
then
of.
this one. Well, and then this video has 16,000. It seems like her reels do really well. So her reels got like 100,000 likes.
Oh,
Well,
I see.
one of them did, but yeah.
Well, one of them has 2.7 million views. This reel.
Hmm.
That's high. It's a
Yeah.
year old. I don't know. I'm not 100% sold
Hmm.
that she has 701,000 followers for real. I'm
Yeah.
not. It's because if you have that many, they automatically verify you on Instagram. Like,
Hmm.
so if you would have that many and they didn't automatically verify you, that's a little questionable in my opinion.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to look at her follower list too to see who she knows.
But to backtrack on our Friday Twitter space, we live sussed out what was going on in Bushwick, Brooklyn, and yeah, apparently it was the case that they're doing a what was it, a last resort tell all.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, I'm down. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they would have to find it necessary because I remember I told you last season it ended, and then everybody had to like face each other and say they were going to stay together or work it out or go their separate ways or whatever. So it gave a pretty good closure. But if they found it to be necessary, that means that there's a lot of drama and there's a lot of unanswered questions at
Hmm.
the end. So I'm not against tell-alls. I just don't think that they should be like 5, 6, 7 parts. I think that it shouldn't be like a whole situation.
Yeah.
What is this? People keep sending me something from Kimberly Rochelle. It's the third person that sent it to me. Have people been sending you something from her?
No. Well, I haven't checked everything, but no.
All right, I'll have to look into it when we're done.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay, what other cast members are worth talking about? Let me see. We talked about the main ones. I mean, yeah, and as far as okay, what do you like? Is it a Ray? Well, it's Rayne, but it's not pronounced as it sound.
Oh, it's
As it's
Renee.
spelled. Renee. Yeah.
She
What did you
pronounced.
think of Renee?
I mean, She reminded me of, you remember Chris from Chris and Jamie?
Yeah.
Of her for some reason. Like she has a farm, she sells eggs, she like goes through storage lockers. She talks to her chickens. You know, she gave me that weird country vibe. She does have like a young kid, like an 8-year old, and then she has a 16-year old. And you know, she's going to Nigeria to meet her Nigerian prince. I'm like, man, I have heard this story before, right? Like we've heard this story literally before of a white woman going to meet a Nigerian man. But it was really interesting when she revealed that he was blind because he didn't know she was a white woman. So it kind
Hmm.
of outlook on the situation a little bit because he literally was blind because she sent him a booty pic, and you know black men are very fond of booty pics. So
Hmm.
she booty pic and got no response. And that was her red flag. She's like, "What the hell, man? You didn't even respond. Like you couldn't say anything at all." And then that's when he finally admitted to her that he was blind. So I was like, "Well, I mean, this story might be a little different from the white woman with the Nigerian man because he didn't even know who he was talking to. He didn't know
Yeah.
what race she was. So it's not like he was seeking out a white woman. You know,
Hmm.
like all the other stories that we were seeing. So I was like, I'm assuming that him being a Christian and everything, that he might actually want a real relationship with her because he's putting her in a different room in his brother's
Hmm.
everything. So I don't know. I'm not sold on whether I like her yet or not. I haven't seen enough, but
Yeah.
I don't want to say she's interesting so far. She's kind of basic, but I just want to see how she interacts with the people when she goes to Nigeria because that's usually the situation that gets people when they go to Africa and they try to interact and they realize that you know the culture is very different and being a white person over there in general sections you off. Like she's going to be automatically judged and she's going to be standing out a lot. So
Um, how's this for a live tweet? Is it, tell me if it's too politically incorrect. Chitty on the wrong show. He should have been on Love is Blind.
well, see, I said that too, right? Like, well, he's not the one that's actually trying to get married at first sight because I was like, oh, he should be on Married at First Sight, but I was for Adnan and Tiger Lily because she's literally going to sign the marriage document when she lands.
Hmm.
I was like, that's wild to me to meet somebody for the first time and then get married. And because I guess he's a Muslim and you know women can't be in the same room with a woman that or with a man that's not her husband or some shit, whatever their religion is. And you know, but the he's literally marrying her at no sight, right? Like he's
Mm,
no sight. He's never gonna know what she looks like. He's never gonna like be able to see her. So I was like, married at first sight isn't even really accurate because he's like he's married her at no sight, which is even more crazy.
yeah.
Also,
Not,
I
uh,
think it's really also interesting that Tiger Lily is getting into a controlling relationship. And because I talked about this on my after show, you know, when a woman is receiving spousal support, the spousal support ends when she gets married. So as long as she stays single, she's gonna receive whatever spousal support she's getting. She's clearly getting spousal support. She's living large, so she's getting a decent amount of spousal support. The second she marries Adnan, which is literally right when she lands, he can file a motion to terminate the spousal support because you don't have to take care of your ex-spouse when they marry someone else. Is then their response. The person they marry, it's their responsibility to take care of them after that. So the fact that she's going to give up her spousal support for a 22-year-old model that probably doesn't even have any money, right? Because she already admitted that she's never asked him how much money he made. So I'm going to
mm,
go ahead and assume he doesn't have any. I'm going to go ahead and assume that she sends him money every month. I mean, I don't know that's just a vibe that I get. And I'm
yeah.
just wondering how much spousal support is she getting and is it going to really affect her? Because once she marries him, her ex-husband don't got to give her shit. Like that's literally how it works.
Yeah, I see her having a hard time losing that money pipeline.
Well, she seems to be pretty open to hopping off the plane and marrying the first dude she sees. So she's not.
Yeah.
I mean, but it could be that she doesn't realize. I've heard people tell me in the past that a lot of times the women didn't realize that the spousal support isn't for life. A
Hmm.
lot of times when the judge grants them spousal support, they think it's for life or the duration of when their children are under 18. But there is a clause where it can terminate when you get remarried. So, and I don't know how intelligent she is. Like, I'm gonna say that the fact that she doesn't realize that marrying a Muslim man is probably not the best thing to do for a woman who is triggered by being controlled. She's probably not the sharpest tool in the shed, right? So I feel
Hmm.
like she probably doesn't even realize she's giving up her spousal support by marrying him.
Yeah, maybe she has like a decent nest egg now built up, and then if she's an influencer on Instagram and she has an online store and shit, I think at some point she's willing to trade some money over for TV fame. So that's
No,
what she's doing.
TV fame doesn't equate to money. I think a lot of people are confused with TV fame and money. They're separate. And you can ask any 90 Day cast member, well, look at Jabri. He's out there posting
Hmm.
GoFundMe's. And so, like, it doesn't equate to money. Fame and followers are great. There's people who have close to 1 million followers that don't have any money. It's
Hmm.
crazy.
True. Yeah. You there?
Yeah.
True. Yeah. No, I know, but it depends though. But it's if she's business savvy like Miona Bell is or what is, so she could parlay that into money.
Well, you have to capitalize your business while you're on TV. You have to advertise. You have to put yourself out there, and you have to have a product that people want. Because
Hmm.
you was selling infant hats for 45. Is that really what people want?
Yeah,
You
she's
know,
selling a $45 in like kids bucket hat.
yeah, I don't know if that's what people want. I think Miona, she did have a good business plan. She was selling those ponytails that you just like clip in.
Yeah.
That are women. I didn't realize shit, to be honest with you, how many women were wearing those add-in extensions. And then Miona's business hit 1 million, I think, ponytails, and I was like, what? That's a lot. I didn't even realize that. And then I started seeing the videos of how the women were putting them in their hair, and I was like, I see women with those ponytails all the time. It never crossed my mind that they were doing that, and I think that it has to be something that is on trend,
Hmm.
that people really want. And if you market yourself right, yeah, you can hit good numbers, but it has to be strategic. You have to be on the show, you have to be getting the attention, you have to capitalize on that, because the fame fades fast. And I'm pretty sure Miona's selling less ponytails now than she did when she was on TV every week you know
Hmm. The one thing she did do, which was smart, and I think Jasmine is taking a page out of her book, and not that either of them invented this, but she sent the like ponytails to cast members, I'm assuming for free, and then the cast members would wear it, and that would help her sales. And I think on Last Resort, do you remember? I don't know if it was a lot. I don't know if it was her ponytails, but do you remember in Last Resort, Kalani, she was hanging in in the room with like Angela and Liz, I guess, and she pulled out a bag of ponytails. I'm wondering if some of those were Miona's ponytails. But there was anyway, she was giving them
I,
out
re-
to cast members.
I remember that scene. There were wigs and ponytails. I do remember that scene. It was like a briefcase, a
Hmm.
luggage, wigs and weaves and ponytails. They probably were hers. Now that you brought that up, I think the viral, where I think Ed Hardy and Christian Archer did it. They took the Ed Hardy brand and they spent $0 on marketing. Not the Ed Hardy brand that you see now. Christian Archer has passed away already, but the first time around, this was probably in the early 2000s, and he sent all of the Ed Hardy shirts to like Britney Spears, the Jersey Shore people, whoever was hot at the time, all over TV, all over social media, all over tabloids and shit. That was how he marketed that Ed Hardy brand. And you know that man made over $500 million on that Ed Hardy brand with zero marketing budget. He spent nothing marketing that brand at first. He was genius because he just said, "Oh well, people watch the Jersey Shore, so if I get them to wear it while they're..."
Hmm.
Britney Spears was hot then because that was the beginning of her going wacky. So like if I could get her to wear it while she's shaving her head, he was very strategic and he spent nothing marketing that brand, and now that brand is actually making a comeback now, and after his death, like he is still pulling in so much money for that brand. So yeah, if Tiger Lily can market herself the right way and make sure that she gets the products in the right people's hands, it's
Mm.
possible that she could be very successful from this show, but you got to do it right.
Do you think Tiger Lily is her born name, her,
So
bir- her
about this
birth name?
on my after show, we were talking about this. I highly doubt Tiger Lily is her born name. But we were me and my co-host were saying it's very possible that she's rich and cocky enough that maybe she changed her born name to it. But I don't think anyone has that real name. But I think that a lot of people have been joining the show with like fake names, like Statler, Riley. There's a bunch of people who just go on the show and they don't use their real name. But it's very possible that she may have liked that name and maybe legally changed it to that. But I don't think that's her real name. Like if I had to go with my gut, I don't think that's
Mhm.
her.
Yeah, between the fake, let's just say it's a fake name for the sake of conversation. We don't know for sure, but like between the fake name and the 700,000 Instagram followers, where we don't know if they're all real or not, it would kind of remind me of like Nikki Exotica vibes.
Really? So wait, do you think that Nikki Exotica's million followers are legit?
No.
You don't. Interesting.
No,
Because
I think it seemed just from like the 10 seconds I looked, I would say Tiger Lily's 700,000 are more legit than Nikki Exotica's million plus
real
Instagram followers.
I mean, when Nikki started the show, she had a million followers, which I found to be very peculiar.
Yeah,
You know,
well, like you know who else has like over a million followers is Jose from 90 Day Fiance UK.
yeah, and I think I told you from the start I don't buy that. I'm not buying what he's selling. I don't buy that. Do you buy that?
No.
Because have you ever heard his music even after him being on the show?
No, but I know the music video they shot for the show is on YouTube, but that's not really saying
Well, of
much.
course, it costs like nothing something to YouTube, and that video was filmed on an iPhone.
Yeah.
They don't film videos on iPhone. I mean, you can. I'm not gonna sit here and knock it. You can get good quality on iPhone. I'm not even gonna knock it. But typically, music videos are not shot with iPhones.
Yeah,
By
there's
by your by
if
your
you can afford if you can afford it, it would be shot on like a red camera.
Well, right. And if you have a million followers, you could just tweet out or post out, "Hey, I'm looking for a videographer." Um, Publicity would be your payment. If you had a legit amount of followers, you can get a videographer who would charge you
Mhm.
as long as you credit them and you post them all over your page. If your page is legit,
Mhm.
because your page has to be legit. Anybody who has been using social media for the last 10 years can look at a page and tell you if it's legit or not.
That's what Hamza does. I think he has a friend who's like a videographer in Chicago. So that's when you see him, roaming around Chicago. Yeah, and there's like videos of him. They post like reels, but he has a videographer friend that records him.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've seen it. It kind of seems like that's just all he does is just aimlessly roam around
Hmm.
Chicago, make reels. But yeah, he utilizes his videographer and then he tags the videographer in the post, and then that's the payment for the videographer's time of or is the exposure, and the possibility that paying clients might reach out and say, "Hey, I saw your work. I'm getting married or I'm filming some song no one will ever hear. Would you like to like film for me?" And then yeah, that would be the payment of that.
Hmm. Yeah, so Jose Skate should take notes from Hamza.
Well, again, I don't think that he's legit. If
Hmm.
he was legit, people would reach out to him. Like I have friends that tell me all the time, they're like, "Oh, somebody reached out to me. They want to do a photo shoot with me, or they have a brand. They want me to wear this. They're sending me a box of stuff to wear." They'll reach out to you. Like if if you build it, they will come. If you have the platform, they will come to you. You don't even have to really do anything. That's why I think that his shit is not legit.
Hmm.
He would not have needed to have Renee's son film that. If he was legit, he would have had legit people lined up to do that.
Yeah, because they're in London, right?
Yeah, yeah. London is like an epicenter for fashion and film and music. Like you can get so much shit done in London. It's crazy. Like it's almost it's almost better than doing it over here. Like there's so many people that are looking to get into that industry, and video and photo and print and magazine, like all of that work is done over there. So
He should have hooked up with he should have hooked up with Sprite and had Sprite record the music video.
oh yeah, Sprite is a videographer, photographer. Yeah, you're right. That I mean, that would have been a good pairing, you know, and they could have cross advertised. You know,
Mhm.
people have to use what they got. Like I don't fault anybody for not having the funds to do things, but I fault people for missing opportunities. I definitely, because not everything equates to money. Sometimes you can barter with people and you can get things done without any money at all. You know, I always bring up that Christian artist or Ed Hardy thing because that just blew my mind because I used to buy those shirts. Now I remember spending $150 for one shirt, and he didn't pay nothing. Like this man was a genius. He literally just sent boxes of free stuff to every celebrity who was on TRL and got them to wear it. And this man made all this money. He's a genius.
Did you see Lauren's girlfriend test?
I did. I did see the girlfriend test, and the one question was about, have you ever thought about sleeping in the refrigerator? I think is what he said. And then there was another one. What was the other one about aliens?
Well, I could read them all to you real
Yeah,
quick.
let's go over the girlfriend test real quick.
Yeah, let's see. The first one. Okay, I'm just gonna jump to the one. Okay. So there is a wall in front of you. What do you need to know to get to the other side?
Oh wait, what do you need to get to the other side?
Yeah, well, okay. How about you answer the questions? So there's a wall in front of you. What do you need to know to get to the other side?
Oh, I thought it was like, what do I need to get over the wall? I mean, I guess, what do I need to know?
Yeah.
Um, how tall it is, maybe. I was gonna say I would just need a ladder, but I thought the question was, what do I need to get to the other side? I
No,
guess
it's just
or I need to know how wide, how long the wall is, because maybe I could just walk around it.
true. All right. Well, okay. Yeah, these are kind of dumb. Anyway, let's see. Name a place you don't want to go.
Um, Jail. Don't want to do that. Like it's not on my list. Don't want to do that.
Mhm. Okay. Describe a bird.
Describe a bird. Okay. Similar in shape to an airplane, I guess. It has wings and a kind of ovalish body with a beak,
Hmm. Okay. Let's see. What do most plants need to survive?
air, water, and light. I paid attention in science.
Mhm. And then it has all these characters and it says, "What language is this?" And if I had to guess, it kind of looks Korean. So I'm gonna assume I'm right, but let's just say it's Korean symbols, and you have to say, and it says what language is this, and I'm assuming it's Korean, but I could be wrong. So anyway, can snakes be found on every continent?
Oh, I don't. Yes,
I'm gonna say it could be a trick question in like Antarctica. There may not be snakes there. I don't know.
is Antarctica a continent?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a continent.
yeah.
Yes, because aren't snakes cold blooded?
But still, isn't Antarctica like sub-zero temperatures?
Yeah, but cold blooded animals can survive in sub zero temperatures. Or are they warm blooded? Warm blooded. I don't remember now. No, I
I don't
guess
know. We probably sound stupid.
I
Let's
didn't
just
pay
skip.
enough. I guess because I don't know. I
Mhm.
don't remember that. Maybe they're warm blooded. I know cold blooded animals. They can survive in like literally extreme cold temperatures. But like
Mhm.
warm blooded, they would die in extreme cold temperatures.
Mhm. All right, I'm gonna skip the next question because it has like a chemical name that I'm not even gonna try to pronounce. So anyway, let's go to the next one. What color is on the outer edge of a rainbow?
Oh, um, pink.
I
I
don't know.
don't know
I'd have to look it up.
that. I never thought about that. I'm gonna say pink.
Okay, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. What large green? This one's super easy. If you don't know this, what large green monster often attacks Japan?
Oh, oh, I saw the movie.
I'll give you not a clue, but it's not King Kong.
No, it was they just made a movie about it. It was Kong versus, and it was the not the Loch Ness monster. That's the water one. I can see it. I know what it is. I just can't remember the name of it. I literally just saw the movie on the plane not
Mhm.
too long ago.
Should I
It's
just tell you?
yeah,
God.
Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla. I just literally just saw the movie when I was on the plane, and I
Mm,
was Godzilla. Yeah, because I know they have more than one movie of it, but yeah, he's the one that climbs the buildings and terrorizes. Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. Okay, describe how you make a scarecrow.
Describe how you make a skirt. Okay, so it's just like a pole with like sticks, and then you like rope the sticks together to make a body, arms, legs, head, and then you dress it with clothes.
Hmm. Fair answer. Uh, and then this one we can't. It's not really a question answer. It says draw a building using only implied line. I don't know what implied line is, but that was the last question on that page, and I don't have the other page.
I don't know what implied line means.
I don't either. But no, you did pretty good.
I don't understand why he has a girlfriend application when he's homeless. He should be filling out a leasing application, is what he should do. Because like, why do they need to pass a test? You need
Mhm.
an apartment. You know, like you need to like I don't know. That was just interesting to me because I was like, so wait, you're being picky? Like
Mhm.
after all of the issues that you bring to the table, you're gonna be picky now?
Yeah, he on the show he was very excited to talk about lady boys.
Well, he definitely has that. You know, I don't want to call it a fetish because I don't like to call what people like a fetish. That's not fair. But he's definitely infatuated with I mean, yeah, lady boys, women with penises, which
Mhm.
interesting because at first he said only trans, and then I thought, oh, okay, so he could be talking about like post or pre-op, but I guess post-op is not his thing. It has to be a woman with a penis, which is really I don't know because remember we were watching Nikki Exotica season, and the issue that Justin had was that because he wanted her to be post-op
Mhm.
he still couldn't get over the fact that there was once one there. But like with him, I guess he could be dating a lady boy or a trans woman, and if she has it cut off, he's gonna break up with her. Like it's pretty serious for him, and that's really interesting. He literally described it on the show. He said penises are fun to play with. Did you hear
Mhm.
that? I was like, what are we watching right now? Like when did that become a Lego?
That must be people that watch the show with, their mom or something. That must be an awkward scene.
Yeah. That because I was like, well, when did that become like? I like drones, I like toys and stuff. That for him, that's what he wants to be playing with. Which I don't knock it. You know, I don't knock people's thing, or that's not
You
a thing.
don't kink shame.
Oh, I definitely don't because I feel like that's so unfair. Because everyone is different. Everyone has the thing that they're into or whatever. But it's just no, it's just weird to me that he only wants that. Because there are people who date trans women and they don't care if they're pre or post op.
Mhm.
Some of them, like I said, some of them have a preference they need to be post. But for him, they have to be pre, which is, I don't know, it's just interesting.
If he's so, because on the show it said he was homeless, but then it also said he worked with like those drag queens.
Well, it said he had 3 jobs, right? He worked with the drag queens. He also worked with like a guy who made costumes for drag queens. And then he said he worked in retail. So it said he had 3 jobs, nowhere to live.
And then the most expensive ring he could afford is $50.
Yeah, $50 ring. Well, the ring looked nice. When he said 50, it caught me off guard because they showed the ring first. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And then when I heard the amount, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh, shit. But again, it's not. well, some women will tell you it's not about how much it costs, it's the thought, and then other women will tell you, go to hell, buy me a $50,000 ring. So it just depends on the type of woman that he chose, right? That's the real question. Is she gonna be cool? First of all, is she gonna be cool with marrying a guy who's always gonna be sleeping with other people? That was my question. I was like, what's the point of marrying her if you're never gonna be monogamous? Like, what's the
Yeah,
point?
kind of like that hairdresser guy on Love in Paradise. He had a little side dude.
Yeah. His side dude, and then he wanted to marry Aaliyah, and it's like you can't marry. And then, but the whole time that he was in, I think Colombia, where she was at, they weren't intimate. He wasn't intimate with Aaliyah. He was only intimate with his side piece.
Hmm.
I don't understand the purpose of marriage if it's just for, I guess, companionship. Like that's I don't I I guess that's what old people do. I don't know. I think that it's weird when younger people try to do it.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Do you want to see if anyone wants to speak? Any listeners want to speak?
Oh, Lana's here. Yeah, if anybody wants to speak. Oh, Jenny's here too. Um, speak now or forever hold your peace. I still have to watch the. Apparently, there was a Pillow Talk
Hmm.
special. Well, I knew about this. Obviously, my bestie was there. They filmed it in Miami, a couple months ago. There's a Pillow Talk special. It has Darcy, Misha, Patrick, um, Robert, Kim. Am I forgetting somebody? Oh, and Gabe. They were all there for the Before the 90 Days Pillow Talk party. So I haven't watched that yet. But I guess it's all original Before the 90 Days cast members. Like they all originated from Before the 90 Days. So they got them all together, which I thought was funny that they were putting Darcy on because we're prepping for Darcy because she's gonna be on with her sister on The Last Resort. So I was like, strategically, they're like easing her back in.
Yeah.
So I see what they were doing. I was like, oh, I get it. I understand the cast now. But my next thing was, are they easing all of these people back in? Because I was like, what if this is all strategic? What if Kimberly, Darcy, Misha, Gabe, Patrick, um, what if they're all being gradually eased back into something in the future? Like what you remember when they did that 10-year reunion for the OG
Yeah.
90 and they
Yeah.
people that were going to be on an upcoming show. I
Hmm.
was like, well, maybe that's what they're doing now. Maybe that's why they strategically chose this group of people.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Was out of curiosity, and we haven't touched on the subject because it's a whole that could be a whole hour, but it was Annie part of that pillow talk.
No,
Okay, and you know what I'm referring to, right?
her
Or
pregnant,
you, huh?
her pregnancy.
No, I don't know if you saw my viral tweets today.
Oh, you mean Annie? Annie, not Annie from Annie and David. Yeah, no, Robert was there. Annie was not. So apparently, Patrick was there. Thais was not. They didn't bring couples. It
Okay,
single. It was the original cast members from Before the 90 Days, not their mates.
I
But I
got
did see your post where Annie declared her stance for magma. I did
you.
see, and it get,
I'm laughing because you said magma, like
is that not it? Is it not magma or is it MAGA? What is
yeah,
it?
it's MAGA.
Oh, it's MAGA. Oh, my bad. So what's
But
MAGA?
magma's funnier.
Maybe magma is like lava. I don't know, but
But
I did see that she declared that, and it's really interesting because she's a newer citizen to the country.
mhm,
And she's an immigrant, which we know how certain people feel about immigrants. So I did notice that, and I was like, it's interesting that she is taking the side of someone who at one point wanted to build a wall. So it's really interesting that she was telling people to unfollow her, which is very extreme. Like
yeah,
telling people that supported you, and buy your cameos and watch you on TV to stop supporting you is kind of crazy, in my opinion.
yeah. It's one thing to have that stance. It's another thing to send like a rude and expletive-filled voice message to a fan.
Well, yeah, she was cussing, and it was a lot for me. And I know she's pregnant right now. Isn't she pregnant right now? And I
Yeah,
think a lot of people say you take it with a grain of salt if a pregnant woman curses you out, because there's like a lot going on, like emotionally and through hormones and all of that stuff. So a lot of people say don't always take it like extra personal if a pregnant woman like tells you to go to hell, because it might just be emotions and stuff going on. But that's crazy to tell people to unfollow you and cuss people out because they don't agree with your political stance. I just think it's crazy for somebody who spends so much time at the mercy of the public, right? She doesn't
Mhm.
have a regular job. She doesn't go to work every day. She goes on TV on a show where she's supposed to be entertaining to the public, and then she tells the people who watches the show that she works for to unfollow her. It's almost stupid, right? It's almost stupid. It's self sabotage at its finest.
Yeah, like I don't know if she was saying to unfollow me. I think it was more of she's not worried about losing followers.
Oh, is that what she said? I heard unfollow or followers, and I thought she
Yeah,
was.
well, and then she said they're not going to unfollow me because my followers are Americans or
Oh, so
something.
she's implying that every American has the same stance as her. Is that what she's implying?
Yeah, and obviously they don't because I think she limited her comments on like
I,
Instagram or something.
I mean, she does live in Florida, and there's quite a bit of MAGA here.
A
So
lot of magma, like
mag it's
yeah,
quite a bit, like, so when you're it's funny because like when I'm driving through, like, I live in like Orlando, so when I'm driving through like these smaller cities, like going towards Tampa, going towards Daytona, I drive through these little tiny towns, and it's crazy, man. It's like you drive down like this dirt road, and then there'll be like a little house or trailer park or whatever, and there's like 50 billion Trump flags like everywhere, like
mm,
everything from trees, from fences, from everything. So I get maybe what she sees around.
mm.
She's under the impression, no, this is how everyone feels. Because, where we are in Florida, it could feel that way sometimes.
Yeah. Though you know what? There's a saying that a lot of people in the mentions kept saying, where it was they were saying like she kind of pulled the ladder up, meaning like once she got here, she stopped giving a fuck about other immigrants. She pulled the ladder up for so the people behind her
Oh,
can't get here. She's like, "Fuck you to all you immigrants. I'm already here."
I mean, technically, when you take that stance, because he is not as open with the borders as his counterparts. So when you go with the person who wants to close them off completely, or basically close them off as much as possible, versus a person who wants to leave them open, as an immigrant, it is saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'm lucky. You're not. Oh well." It's definitely giving a screw you, I don't care about you vibe. Because there's so
Mhm.
many people who are maybe in the process of trying to get here. And the person that you vote for could have a say in that. Depending on how the laws change when office changes. I don't know. I feel like if you are an immigrant, you should have a soft spot for other immigrants. But I guess I can't really understand because I'm not an immigrant, so I don't really know. I just feel like you would think you would.
Mhm. Lana, you want to chime in on anything?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey,
Hey,
Lana, we're good.
what?
Yeah, you know what? I think the biggest thing I want to say about Annie is for her to trash America like she did in that text, when America is what gave her her visa. America gave her a whole new life. And she said she basically spoke Trump's words. She said America's trash.
Mhm.
America's nothing. And then to have the nerve to speak and tell me she knows more about America than an American that's been here their whole entire lives. Are you freaking kidding me?
Mhm.
Yeah. And then the fact that she was saying it with such a thick accent kind of added like irony,
Right,
because I was
right,
Yeah.
hearing
right.
Americans what America is in an accent that is so far from, like, and I'm not even saying this to like sound like an ass, but it's like you're so new here that you're still getting your English to fluency, but you're already like telling other Americans that you're more American than them. Like that caught me as
Exactly.
like,
Mhm. No, yeah, it was
Yes.
that,
Facts.
that's a good point.
But yeah, I didn't. I'm not saying like anything negative about anyone with an accent or whatever. I just thought it was ironic because she was basically telling this person like, "I'm more American than you," but she said it with her accent because she's still new. She's still new. So it was just really ironic for me.
Yeah, man,
Well,
you
you
think
know what,
it's
George? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. That was me.
Wait, were you the person that she replied to?
Yes, I am.
No way. That's crazy.
Yes.
So I have a question now. How did this conversation start?
Well, I
well,
sent her when I seen the post that she had made
well,
about
did
Trump.
you? Well, we could, George. Like, do you know what? Yeah, do you know what started it all?
Yes,
I could explain
I
it,
don't.
George.
No, I don't.
Okay, so I could explain the whole thing because I'm the one that kind of brought it to light.
that's right.
Um,
I sent it straight to Shabuti.
yeah, but so so there's this like musician. His name is like Anwal or Anuel AA, like Anuel AA.
Oh, cool. I know exactly who he is.
Yeah, him. So he's
I
like a
I like my music, so yeah, I know exactly who he is.
Yeah, so he apparently is, but you know how like not this is about to get all like 10 minutes into politics, but anyway, Trump, you know how he buddies up with like musicians and shit that like him. So Anwale A or whatever, he I guess he's one of those. So anyway, he buddied up with Trump. So then there were I don't know if it was an event, but anyway, there was like a photo op where they took photos together, Trump and Anwar or whatever, and they took photos and stuff, blah blah blah. So then Anwar he posted it on his Instagram, and he has like a lot of followers. And I actually followed him because I liked his music past tense. And then
Oh,
that,
oh, it's anymore.
yeah, I don't know if I like him anymore. But anyway, he posted a photo with Trump and then on his Instagram, and then I saw it, and then I looked down at like the top comments because if you follow like mutual people, the mutual follow if they comment on that post, it'll show up like in the top for you probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Annie was the one that it showed up on Instagram like as a first reply in the comments, and so she was commenting on his post with picture of Trump and was kissing his ass. And I could pull up the comment. So she said, "Make America great again, con Papa Trump." Heart, heart emoji. And so anyway, she posted that, and then I posted the screenshot of the comment on my Twitter, and I forget what caption I used, but I posted. That's how everyone knew that she was. That's how I basically posted her comment, and then everyone
Right.
knew what the deal was. And then and then Lana went in Annie's DMs, and that's where that exchange happened.
I woke up this morning and I had a message from Annie at 4:26 a.m. And I could just tell in the message she was hot.
But wait, what did your initial message say?
I don't have it handy. Do you have it, Shabuti?
I mean, I tweeted it publicly.
Yeah.
It's hold
Shabuti
on.
tweeted it because I wanted Shabuti to see what I said to her and how I said it to her. I spoke to her with nothing but respect,
Well,
and she came back strong.
I just wanted to know what
Okay, yeah, I could read
her
you the
response was.
message.
Rageful. So I just wanted to know like what happened before that she got so like angry.
Yeah, so I could read it real quick. It said, Annie, reading your Trump post was so disappointing and sad for me to see. You were an immigrant, the same people he called killers and rapists. I adored watching you and Robert. But seeing you promoting Trump, I lost respect for you. By the way, your followers are going to drop like flies. So that's when she came back and said, I'm not worried about my followers. They're all Americans. They're not going nowhere, type of thing.
Yep. And she said, and if you want to unfollow me, go ahead. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. I was just curious because I didn't know why
Mhm.
response was so aggressive. So I was just
I
curious.
I was really surprised. I really was. I was like, really, Annie? Oh, so now we're seeing who you really are.
Yeah, because when I posted, people were like, "Oh, is she joking? Like she doesn't really feel that way." I was like, "No, I don't think it's a joke."
Nope. It's definitely not a joke. She tried to tell me exactly how it was and how I was betraying my own country.
Yeah, but then she also probably didn't expect you. She probably didn't expect a voice message to you to be like viral.
Exactly. Exactly. And right when I seen it, I said, "Oh, really? Okay. Well, guess what? I'm sending this straight to Shibuti." And then I told Shibuti, I go, "Do what you wish with it."
hmm And it
That was
has the tweet
that.
has like 47,000 views. So,
So it got reposted. Is she aware?
well, I know her like comments are limited. So I don't know if she knows that the audio's out there, but she knows she's probably getting like some backlash as far as
Interesting.
messages.
Yeah, and a lot of her backlash is probably coming from her Latino community, because she
Mhm.
basically said she was only worried about her American followers. Her followers weren't Latin. So she didn't give a shit about them.
Oh wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, she only cared about, she said, all my followers are American, so I don't give a shit. That's what she said.
Mhm.
Her opinion, anyone that's not American isn't worth her time. Is that what she's saying?
I think she was basically saying that because I'm American and I don't agree with her views, then I'm stupid. She was like, she told me I was betraying my own country.
For having a political opinion?
Exactly.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh.
Yeah. Like I wanted to tell her so bad. You know what, Annie? I have people in my family that are Trump supporters that I love dearly. So it wasn't the point of who she's voting for. It was the point that if she was able to make her opinion, I'm damn sure able to make mine.
Yeah. I mean, I think that political opinions are a breeding ground for arguments and fights
Yes.
and I hate when people they use their political like stances as a way to like what's the word, set themselves apart, I guess. Like I think that I don't like, for instance, I have lots of friends who have lots of different political views, right?
Right.
We don't make that a stance in our friendship.
That's right.
And I think that public figures, when they have like a lot of followers, they're just like, well, you have to agree with me because 400,000 people follow me, so I have to be right and over you. And they take away that option for other people to have an opinion that's different. And it's just, I don't know, it's stupid. It's very stupid in my opinion for her to go and voice any type of political opinion when she's at the mercy of the public. Her job that she gets paid for is through the mercy of the public.
That's right.
So
Mhm.
the she's on the show because people like her commentary, and if people stop liking her commentary, she won't be on the show anymore. So I
That's
just think
right.
it's stupid to go out there and attack the public when you're at the mercy of them. You're paid because people haven't written a letter to the network and telling them to get you out of there. And if you want to piss people off, they'll write letters. You think she's taking money out of her own pocket.
That's
And
right.
I was just raised differently. I was always raised, if a hand is feeding you, you don't bite it. That's just how I was raised.
Yeah,
And
when
another thing is, I think she just really doesn't understand the politics. I think she spoke before she knew what she was speaking on. I really truly do. Because knowing that Trump has different stances on abortions, IVF, that type of thing, and knowing what her and Robert went through with their sick child last year, that really makes me wonder, why would she want to vote for somebody that's against everything she stands for?
That is interesting. Yeah, right now in Florida, we recently had a law go into effect a few months, no, more than a few months ago. Abortions are basically illegal here right now. And they
Right.
put it back on the ballot for November. Our governor thought he was going to be Trump's running mate, so he went and did a bunch of extreme. He signed a bunch of extreme things that he could use on the campaign trail.
Yeah,
But
DeSantis.
right, and he didn't get picked, which surprised him.
Right.
So now they're putting all of the weird things that he signed into law earlier in the year that he was going to use as his campaign. Now everything's going back on so they can reverse it. But like right now, you can't get an abortion in Florida.
Nope, you sure
You
can't.
know?
l-
Yes,
like
yeah.
George, when I kind of know the answer to this, and this is like an obvious question, but I'll ask it anyway. So when they have like pillow talkers on, I assume the producers are all like, don't go on your social media and be like super political, right?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, they don't have like a specific rule.
I mean, well, I feel like no. Well, I'll give you a hypothetical. Like, let's say you're a new cast member, and before your season airs, and they go through your feed, and let's say you were very political, I'm pretty sure I've heard they'll tell you to delete like your super political tweets and stuff and posts.
Yeah, well, now when you go on a show, they make you deactivate whatever account that you were using and they make you make a new one.
Oh wow.
I haven't heard that.
So, a lot of times, if you notice the cast members, that when you notice the show is premiering, they have an account with nothing on it, like no followers, like only a few posts.
But
And it,
but then how does Tiger Lily have her 700,000 account?
well, everybody doesn't follow the rules. Like, I'm pretty sure she probably told them I have 700,000 followers. I'm not deleting.
Hmm.
Like they try to get you because I know for a fact my bestie did it. She had an account that she was using, and when she did the show, they were like, "Make a new account,"
Well,
and
they tell you
yeah,
to delete or deactivate, and then make a
yeah.
new account.
I mean, or they say make your actual account private and don't let anyone see it and never unprivate it.
Yeah,
Like
because they don't want your old tweets to be resurfaced, and
right,
when you say crazy shit 10 years ago.
and they'll have you wipe clean anything that they don't approve of. Like you go through a social media background check.
Hmm.
Um, Before the show like the previews are made, the advertisements, you go through a social media background check and you can either deactivate the account, wipe it clean and private it, but they prefer that you deactivate or close it and then make a new one and then they'll go and get it verified for you.
Hmm.
That's what they prefer to do.
Okay, that's good insight that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah, usually they don't keep the accounts. Like whatever account that they had before the show, it's gone. Or they'll change the username or take their name out. Like it'll be there, but you never be able to link it to them. And then they'll make a new one.
Well, there wasn't anything bad on it, but there was that old Twitter account that ended up being Ashley's, and she was like a 90 Day Fiance super fan, and she was live tweeting the show like 3 or 4 or 5 years ago,
Wait, really? I
and
didn't
it's
hear.
still up. Yeah.
I mean, sometimes the accounts are dormant and they can't get back into them.
Hmm.
And really nothing that you can really do about it. Like you can't like send a letter to X and ask them to delete an account. It doesn't work that way. Like just like if someone gets arrested and there's information on a phone and it's an Apple phone, even though the person can unlock the phone, they might not want to because it'll put them in jail. The police can't send a letter to Apple and ask them to unlock the phone.
I mean,
So
well, they try, but that's not necessarily going to be successful.
right, like just like so you can't really send a letter to X and say, "Hey, I need you to delete this account." It's not. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, true. Oh, Lana. So did you watch tonight's episode?
I did. I watched it. I started a little late, but I have maybe 10 minutes left at the end. But when I seen you guys come on, I said, "Oh, I gotta go on. I gotta jump on."
So who do you have a favorite person or something?
You know what? For some reason, I don't know why, but I think the guy from Nigeria that's blind. I think because of the way he was blinded by an apple falling from a tree that his friend was climbing, and I think he said he fell and hit his head or something like that.
That's actually good. That's actually a good topic, real quick, to talk with George about. Is I was a little perplexed by that
Yes,
because it was weird because it was like the story was okay. Yeah, Apple, whatever, hit him in his eye, right? So and it
right.
was like his right eye. So let's say that made him blind in his right eye, but then you should still be able to see out of your left eye, right? But then he said then in the future he stumbled and like hit his left eye because maybe because the blindness on the right eye made him have like bad ability to walk or something or whatever. So then he like his vision was obviously limited. So then he like stumbled and hit his left eye, the other eye on like a desk, and then all of a sudden he got blinded in his left eye. So it was like a weird thing where both eyes had different separate incidences.
Yeah, that's so strange. What do you
Yeah.
think, George?
Well, it reminded me of Final Destination, right? Like where
Mhm.
something happened to you and you somehow cheated it, and then it eventually will track you down. Like maybe he was supposed to lose full eyesight the first time around, and then something happened, and then he came back. It was a really interesting story because it's two separate incidents at two separate times
Right.
that brought him to that. And I don't know, I'm superstitious, and I have like some of my friends are psychic and mediums and clairvoyant, and we look into like things like that. And I was thinking of like negative energies and spirits and curses, and it's definitely sounded like some sort of curse to me. Like I grew up in the South, in Louisiana, around a lot of voodoo, a lot of witchcraft.
Right.
The way that he was telling the story, I was getting a lot of dark energy from that, and thinking like, maybe somebody wanted something bad to happen to him, and then that was put up on him or whatever. I don't know. I'd have to talk to one of my psychic friends and look into that more.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I'm thinking that because he's in Nigeria and he's in a poor country, that there's not good doctors there to figure out why that happened to him. And I'm thinking that there's a possibility that this guy can see again. He said that he sees bright spots.
Yeah. He said that he can see color and light,
Right, right.
which
Wasn't there like a Mr. Beast video where he helped restore like vision to like 100 people or something? There's some expensive procedure. Maybe he needs
I,
that.
I did see that. I think
there's
I did
a
see.
eyes like process that you can do that has been known to restore partial blindness. It's like a laser repair on the retina.
Right.
You can still get some sort of vision out of the eye. It's possible it can be repaired.
Yeah, that's what there because technology has came so far now on stuff like that. And I mean, you can literally in America, you can get a glass eye. You can get there's so many things you can do now, and I just have a feeling if this guy could get over here, he might have a second chance at being able to see. Because I'm sure there's doctors out there that would love to see what's going on with him.
Do you
Yeah.
do you think that's his like dream is to come here and find a good doctor?
Yes.
Hmm.
For some reason that was my first thought was he's not going to get the medical help that he needs over there. He doesn't even really know why he's blind. He just knows I got hit with an apple and then I fell and hit the desk, but he doesn't know why. There's a reason for it. Can it be reversed? Can it be fixed?
Hmm. Interesting. I didn't get that vibe that was what he was trying to do,
Right.
but possibly. I I don't know. Interesting. I mean that's intriguing. That thought.
Yeah, I really thought about it and I was like, wow, this guy's whole life can be changed. He seems like a genuine person. I'm not sure how it's going to go with them. She seems to be a little bit more of a freaky deek because when he had to tell her that he wasn't going to give her any, you know, she seemed a little pissed.
Hmm. Well, it's funny. She's one of those into aliens and shit like that.
Yeah, she
He's like hyper religious, and she doesn't. She only believes in the supernatural.
and it's sad how insecure she is because she literally said she'd rather be with a blind person so that he can't see how her body really looks. That's sad.
Hmm. Yeah. See, well, if you have like 10 minutes left on your show, I don't. So you didn't get a chance to see the preview of the rest of the season at the end.
No, I
And
didn't see it yet.
it showed her kind of acting kooky and like shit hitting the fan and yeah, insecure and fighting and stuff.
Yep,
So
I can see that.
yeah, it's gonna be yeah. Based on that, looks like it's gonna be a train wreck.
Yeah. Do you guys watch Forbidden Love?
I do. I do.
I like it.
Yeah, it kind of is like 90 Day Fiance on steroids. It's like
Right.
the cultural difference of the show, and it's like amplified. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
it's
I
good.
really like it. I think it's pretty good. I think I like the stories.
Mm, true. Does any if anyone out there wants to talk, let us know. Like other people. But George, you have any other topics?
No, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, it is 12:47. So yeah, and then yeah, we got to let Lana watch the last 10 minutes of her show.
Yeah, she gotta finish it. There's a bombshell right at the end. So yeah,
Well,
you got.
well, without spoiling it, which bombshell hint at it?
Oh, it has to do with Brian.
Oh, about his previous, about his, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a bombshell at the end. So once you get to that, you'll be a little surprised. But yeah, we'll talk about that next week. We'll
Well,
talk about it
Friday, hopefully.
Friday. Yeah, we can talk about that then. But yeah, I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. But it's it seems like a good premiere episode. I was happy with the craziness, and the show is becoming so inclusive at this point. I don't even know what to expect anymore. Like, we have a quadriplegic, we have a blind person, we have say that again, Shibuti, a gyro or gyno sexual
Let's see. Well, we're as a goof, we're gonna call it gyrosexual.
gyro like, I'm just, and we have a lady boy, right? Like, you don't even know what to expect anymore. And I feel like saying lady boy is so offensive, but I guess it's okay because that's the word that they use in the Philippines. I feel like in America we wouldn't let that slide. I feel like
Right.
I feel wrong saying. I feel like it's not respectful, but I guess that's the terminology that they use. So
Mm, yeah, that's what they said on the show. It's like in Thailand, that's what they call them. But these like,
yeah,
it's,
I feel like it's a bit, I don't know, it's kind of offensive,
yeah.
but if
So I
they,
guess that's their way of saying he's a gay boy.
or saying he's trans or she's
Yeah.
trans.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so remember way back in the day they would use the word transvestite.
Right.
That that's considered extremely offensive. So
Mm,
now we call
Well,
the person.
yeah, and again, yeah, another. This is just me explaining it, not me saying the word to be offensive. But I think like tranny is very offensive.
Yes,
yeah.
that extremely offensive. Like, back before, years and years ago, they would use derogatory terminology to describe people who were trans, and now we're at the point where we just say it's a trans woman or
Mhm.
trans man. Leave it, at that. And but yeah, I thought it was when she said label, but we learned that on David and Annie after the 90 days, because Cindy on David and Annie, who is Annie's really good friend and hairdresser, she explained it on the show. She's like, oh yeah, we're lady boys. She's like, because she's a trans woman.
Right.
So she was like, yeah, that's just the term. Nobody gets, that's just what we say. And also, what's even more interesting is over in those countries, they are fully accepted. They don't have any struggle or discrimination. Because, back 20, 30 years ago, trans people were they were endangered in public,
Right.
or there were hate crimes. There were all these problems and dangers for people who were trans. And Cindy explained that in Thailand, you know, it's totally normal. She was like, you go down the street, there's men, there's women, there's lady boys. Everyone interacts with each other. There was no issue.
Mhm.
That is fantastic. And you
Yeah,
can tell with Cindy because she lives in her truth. She was a great person.
yeah. I miss her on the show. I miss her. She was really nice. She was
She
kind.
was.
She was so funny, so funny.
She
So yeah,
was.
True. All right. Well, if anyone wants to speak, let us know. But otherwise, we're gonna end it. Um, and we'll be back Friday with our regular scheduled programming.
We'll be here.
All right, thanks for your support, Lana.
No problem. You guys have a great evening.
All
you
right.
too. Everybody have a good long weekend.
Have a good holiday.
Yes. Happy Labor Day.
Yeah. Happy Labor Day.
Good night,
All right.
guys.
Good night, everyone. Peace.